What's good, people? What is up? What is up? They went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. What?
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Or you gonna run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Woo, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was going to, I thought Lil Murder was going to turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Murder was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably up in prison. Girl. Uncle Clifford, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. Well, he had on look like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Yala Van Zap's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup, clumped head everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. Like, you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. Yeah. Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see Cassie. Get me up in my DMs. I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue Josh or something like that. I'd love to see it. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
Hey, people. Hey. What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? Hey, Cams. Hey, boo. I love when I love when you're in the building, Cams. I feel better now knowing that you're here with me, Cams. What's going on, people? What's going on? We're here. What are we talking about? We're talking about everything and some things and nothing all at the same time. Hey, Tanya, boo. What am I drinking? Crayon tropical. So listen. So what is going on, y'all? What is going on? We are here. We got some things to discuss, some things to talk about. Hey, Monk Chip, boo. Monk Chip, don't forget to send me an email, because I did reply to your email, Monk Chip. And like I said, I hope you got my email, Monk Chip, because I did. I thought I replied. Let me know if you ain't get my reply email, Monk Chip, because I'll be there Thursday night. And I'm leaving Saturday at some point on Saturday. So, yeah. Ooh. Don't tempt me with a good time, Tanya. Ooh. Oh, you replied back. I got to check Monk Chip. Maybe I didn't see it. I'll check again, Monk Chip. I'll check. So, we are here to talk about some things. Let me see what I have in the dossier. See what we got over here. Um, I know, Cams, you want to talk, sir? You always be traveling too, so don't be over here talking about me like I'm the only one that's traveling, like you ain't traveling. Don't do that. Don't do me, as I'll be forced to do you harder. Anyway, hey Derek, what's good, bro? Let me take a look at all these beautiful faces coming through my channel right now. Y'all be around here looking real good. I need to get like y'all when I grow up and start looking better. Um, I'm not sure what time I'll be in on Thursday night. I'll be honest, because monk trip, I don't even know what time I'm leaving on Thursday. So I I'll know tonight and then I'll let you know. That's what we'll do. I'll know tonight and then I'll let you know. What's good, Jason? What's good, bro? What is good, sir? Shondo, sir. All right. So let's see here what we have on the dossier. Will some people get drugged today? There's a possibility. I can't promise you anything. I never know what's going to come out of my mouth from day to day, from live to live. So stay tuned. Who knows? We'll do what we can. I don't have, and looking at my, looking at, what I have in my dossier here. I don't have that many stories, which opens us up to a whole lot of stuff. Okay. Um, okay. Like I said, I'll let you know tonight, Monkship. Because by tonight I'll know for sure what time I'm leaving on Thursday. So yeah, I'll we'll get that together. But it looked like Saturday, like maybe Saturday morning might be our best time because I know um I know I don't plan to leave until Saturday sometime. So Saturday morning might be our best time if we go do breakfast or something. So I don't have any snack right now. Right now I'm drinking on some crayon tropical. I don't have any snacks next to me. I have I have some gummy bears from Bucky's that I have not opened yet. They're sitting over there waiting for me to open them. So I might do that. If I get to a sugar spiky moment, I may go and get those. Okay, Mug Chip. Yeah, Saturday might work out better because that way we know I'll already be in town, and we know my Saturday is not busy at all. So maybe we'll do a silly Saturday while we're eating breakfast live with Monk Chip. I mean, I won't put Monk Chip on screen and dox her, but maybe she can be, across from me and we be live. She can see behind the scenes. We'll see. Wait, is today Monday? Wait, today is Tuesday. Don't do that, Jason. Jason, Jason, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, Jason, you almost messed me up. I was like, wait a minute, is it Monday? Oh God. Anyway, y'all. So so let's start off with good stuff today. Today is October 11th. What is October 11th every year? October 11th is National Coming Out Day. Happy National Coming Out Day. I I don't know that I ever had to come out. I think I probably did to myself at some point, but it really wasn't a coming out to myself. It was just a realization of what it was. I have a live that I did years ago. I want to say in 2019. I did a live where I told the story of how I found out about myself, and I gave that whole story. It's a great live. Um, If I can, I'll try to find it. Um, but it's a great live. If I'll look in my archives and see if I can post it for National Coming Out Day, and if I can, we'll do that, and and I'll post that on my community page for National Coming Out Day or something like that on my community wall. But yeah, it's oh man, it's such a hard thing for a lot of people within the community um to do this thing called coming out. You see it more so with them talking about celebrities and the process that they go through with coming out to the world. That's mainly today what people associate with the coming out process, which is very different from when people have to do this with their family, friends, and loved ones. When people end up without um, they end up don't have any not having any support. Many of them end up, homeless, suicidal, feeling rejected and dejected, and it's a very process. And it's not just a one and done. That process is not just a, oh, I'm gonna tell y'all, and then that's it. It's even an internal process where the individual has to become comfortable in their own skin, accepting this is who I am, this is what I am. I love myself unapologetically, and it just becomes a much more drawn out process than what people make it out to be, or what they show you on television. Um, some computer screen glasses. Oh, I thought you was talking to me. When did I come out as a whole? Well, I think that was college. Everybody in camps, everybody in college. If you didn't have a whole phase in college, baby, you didn't go to the right college or you missed out. Because listen, let me help you understand something. When I was in college, listen, when I was in now, my first year in college, I really didn't do anything gay. I was not on the scene. I didn't go to the club. I didn't do anything. I spent that time um doing the band, pledging a few fraternities. I didn't pledge Kappa till after my freshman year, but um yeah, I was just involved in getting acclimated, getting to know people, joining certain organizations, and doing all of that stuff. And then my sophomore year is when, and it wasn't even fresh fall my sophomore year, it was spring sophomore year is when I first ventured out and decided to go to the club. And I was so scared. I remember being so scared. But baby, once we started, whew, there wasn't no stopping at that point, had it? Hey, babe, back in the day, we had no BGCs back then. The chat line was a thing back then. You did have a party line, the chat line. Um, it definitely wasn't. You ain't had no shit. I know at that time. This was the late '90s. This was '99 when I first went to my first. That wasn't my first gay club ever, but when I was in college, when I decided in Tallahassee I was gonna go to the club, that was 1999. Ooh, child. Mm. I was a young little bitty something, baby. And what's so funny is there was this dude, he was older, which at that time, older meant you was like 25 or 26 years old, okay? Like we call back when you like 19, 20, 21, a bitch that's 25 and 26 might as well be 50 or 60 years old. Okay, listen, I'm just telling you how it is. So, bitch, when I tell you, I there was this dude. He was like 26, maybe. He was like the 26 or 27, but he was fine, and everybody wanted him, and everybody liked him. And baby, I was sitting over in the club. This was like not my first time going to the club, but maybe my second or third time. And he came and talked to me, and I gave him this mean mug, like, bitch, get away from me. He came and talked to me, and I ain't said nothing to him, and I kept drinking. And he waited till I went outside with my friend and came up to me. He was like, "You ain't have to do me like that in the club. You ain't have to act so mean and stuff." I said, "I ain't mean. I just don't talk to people in the club." He was like, "Well, we don't got to talk in the club. We could talk at your house." I was like, "Oh." Why was I just that easy? You know, it didn't take. I'm such a whore. It just something as corny as that led to him coming to my house. Needless to say, everybody wanted him. Everybody was after him. Everybody wanted to be with him, and he wouldn't. And the thing was, he was very, picky. He wouldn't sleep around with everybody. But then I found out why, because his meat was like this big. Okay, and the stroke game was like, mm. So, needless to say, it was a one and done. It was a one and done. Child, girl, child. Anyway, um, I remember I had a live, I think in 2020, where I did the Let Me Be Your Gaydar live, where you could come up and ask me about your man. And it was so funny because people kept would like DM me or ask me questions, and I would just come up and I'll let you know what's going on. We'll go through this, and we could talk about what is what. Sure. Because anyway, would Dahmer have got me? No, Dahmer wouldn't have got me. I don't do. I don't do the white people. He couldn't have got me. Now if Dahmer was black, maybe. But baby, Dahmer being Dahmer, blonde hair, no melanation, baby, he couldn't have got nothing. Baby, he couldn't even come in my direction. Okay, baby, he could not have come to. First of all, Jeffrey Dahmer used to get the people out the club, and for me, you was never gonna get me in the club. If your move was to try and put the moves on me in the club, baby, you was never gonna get nothing for it. Cause I'm not talking to you in no club, baby. I don't play with people in the club. I'm over here in my corner, giving this wall and this corner the business. Okay, I'm over here dancing and grinding all up on the wall on nobody's on nobody at all. Just giving the wall everything it's worth. But what we wasn't gonna do is you come there and give me your little weak ass pickup line. Now you talk to me outside the club, after the club, maybe even at the let out, maybe. Not inside no club, honey. But yeah, he couldn't have did nothing with me because baby, I don't do the white people. We don't do them at all. I'm really y'all know what I'm really doing. I'm really while I'm talking to you, I'm looking for this this lot. Oh, I found it. I found it, y'all. I found the live. Ooh, I was on 2 hour live too. But I found it, y'all. I'm gonna post the link in the chat. Oh, this is old school. This is old school, L Teddy. Old school. I'm gonna put it on the community wall. I'm gonna still put it in the chat though. That was when we learned about the pixie dust. The pixie dust. Remember the pixie dust? Oh man, the pixie dust. If you've never anyway, if you've never heard this story, I would say take some time. Go. If you've never heard this live, go watch it. It was a great live. Um, a great time was had by all during this live, and The story is told as only I can tell it. And yeah. So let me see if we can't post this in the chat. All right. Oh boy, I did that wrong. Y'all see, but anyway, like I said, Dumbo would have never got me. Let me see what y'all said in the chat. Did you invent being a side? No, I didn't invent that. That's way before me. The girls were size queens way before I came along, honey. Before I was thought about or came along. That goes, the LGBTQ plus community, specifically the black gay section, is very listen. We're very gaudy. We're very ostentatious. We're very extra. You know what I'm saying? We like everything, flamboyant. And not when I say flamboyant, that's not saying feminine. I'm saying it just, and we like opulence. We like, ostentatiousness. We like all of that stuff. And so it would stand to reason we would like it even in the bedroom. Just like black men love big asses, gay black men like big asses too. But gay black men like big dicks too. So that ain't start with me. No, that ain't start with me. That was way before me. Way before me. Yeah, we don't do the pink meats. Did you invest? Oh no, I didn't invent that. Um, I wasn't born a hoe. I was not born a hoe. That I will say that. Meeting at the two meetings of the two. My whole phase was in my early 30s. After my divorce, I had to find myself. Granted, I found myself in other people. Yeah. You know what is funny, Cams, because I I talk about how in college I was I spent about a year just but wow. But then I got in some relationship. I got in a relationship. That's the link to the live, ladies and gentlemen. Demonetized in three, two, one. Exactly, child. I never my lives never get monetized. Never. Anyway, but what I was saying, Cams, was I in toward the end of my my college life, well, undergrad, I should say, I did get in a relationship, and then we broke up like right before I graduated. But um, throughout my 20s, I spent almost the entirety of my 20s in a relationship, and then like right before I turned 30, I was single, and I stayed single um, till I was in my mid 30s, and I was I agree, Kat. At that point, that period where I was like 29 and a half till I was about 35. Listen, when I tell you I had a stash, meaning I had a different person for every day of the week, meaning I had a stash of seven. Now I rotated them seven. I had somebody for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I wasn't horning around. I mean, I guess it is horning around if you sleeping with seven people, but it was the same seven people. At least I was consistent. And I would do that for about 6, 7 months. And then I would, start changing people out. Okay, I'm good with you. Let me go get another person to go for Tuesday. Child, child. It was going down back there, honey. Ooh, child. Ooh, child. I praise sweet 7 pound, 3 ounce baby Jesus that in my whoring phases and stuff like that, I didn't end up with something with some type of disease that's incurable, or I didn't end up, and it wasn't nothing I did. It was just the mercy and grace of the good man upstairs. Um, because I know I was supposed to be a statistic, and nah, I wasn't out here having just frivolous, unprotected sex. I did for the, I ain't gonna say I always had protected, but I did for the most part have protected sex. But everybody had those times where you get caught up in the rapture of love and the immortal words of Miss Anita Baker, and things happen. Chat. Ooh, chat. Here go really be. Here she come. Here she come. Hey sis. Um, There. Hey, MVN, boom. Hey, Miss Bay Thing, boom. You gonna be in the bushes again, child? All right, all right, child. Um, here's the link if anybody wants to come up. All right. Just in case somebody wanted to come up. It's just a right mind. We do have a dossier, but if somebody want to come up and talk to me, you can. Um, mods, y'all know what to do with that. But yeah, that first link I posted um is the live that I did, like I said, back in that had to be about 2019. I think it was, well, let me see. It has the date. It says, does it have a date on it? It says it was 3 years ago, so it had to be 2019. Um, but it doesn't have the date. That's interesting. Um, yeah, it says 3 years ago in the comment section, but it doesn't have a date for me. So it was 2019. Yeah. All right. You know what? What's so interesting, Jason? I was never that type. I don't feel comfortable in feminine clothing. Like I don't even like wearing tight pants. Like my clothes are very just regular, I just don't feel comfortable in feminine clothing. It just doesn't feel, it has nothing to do with me being, having any issues with my sexuality or who I am. It's just not me. I just don't feel comfortable in them. There have been times where friends have coerced me into wearing something, and even then, it wasn't anything overtly feminine. It was just something that was like real tight and or form fitted, and they'll be like, "Yes, you look so good in that," and I'll be like, "I don't like this," and I'll be like so uncomfortable in the outfit like the whole time that we're going out. So I don't know. It's so funny because I've never been. That's never been my thing. Like I've always just liked my regular clothing. So, and I think they work for me. Um, Child. But yeah, go and listen to the story. What about a little long? Now, underwear? Yes, I'm all about the underwear, baby. I've morphed into having two big underwear drawers because I'm a part of an underwear club where every month they mail you a new pair of underwear. And so I got it all. I got the leather, I got the ass out, I got the meat out, I got the mesh, I got the any type of underwear you could think about. The sexy kind, underwear, baby, I got it all now. That Cam, I'm with you on. We got the underwear. Now the underwear we got on lock. And we got so many types. You name it, we got it. Child, love me some underwear. Now, you never gonna catch me slipping on my underwear. I don't care where I am, what I'm doing. Baby, you pull down these good. Either I don't got on none at all, or what I do have on is sick. They got it. I got underwear in there. I haven't even worn yet. I got dozens of underwear because I've been a part of this underwear club for at least about 4 years now. So I have underwear that I've never even worn. Like I've never even worn in there. Like I could sell some of them. I'm sure I can. I'm gonna just start wearing some of them one day. I don't know. Anyway, but yes. Mm-hmm. Sure. Anyway, y'all share this video out, hit the like button and all of that good stuff we supposed to do. It's supposed to say hi to child. Mm. Child. Um, so let's see what's in the dossier today. So we wanted to start off by saying happy coming out, National Coming Out Day to all of you all. I'd love to hear some people's coming out story because everyone's story is different. Um, and it shapes kind of who you are. It shapes your path and how you navigate through this whole experience in life, that process. So mine absolutely did shape mine. Mine was different from the norm, which is unfortunate because my story is not a bad story. And so it's sad that my story not being a bad story, being actually a good story, is not the norm, or I should say, not the norm for many people that I know my age. So, yeah, that's interesting. But happy National Coming Out Day. When we get off this live, y'all can go listen to the live I posted. It'll be on the community. It's already on the community wall as well. So yeah. Anyway, so let's see what else is in the dossier today. Um, Let me get a sugar spike out the way. Well, let me do a palate cleanse. I don't have that many palate cleansers. I got like five of them. Like five. Actually about seven. Here's the palate cleanser. Since we're talking about coming out, there you go, rainbows. Glitter, sprinkles, and Skittles just splash through your computer screen. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna get this out of the way now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary or gender-conforming individuals. Let's go ahead and knock this out now. What are we knocking out now? Our favorite segment of the episode of Any Live, our Sugar Spike segment.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. Get your honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it mixes with my chicken wings. Get none of that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes on my chicken wings. Take us out, Moose.
Taste the biscuit.
Holy Ghost will tell you, don't win at the church. You can win at the beach. Jesus! I wish somebody help me.
Hey, China White Boo. Jesus. Taste the biscuits. Taste the goddamn biscuits, okay? Taste the damn biscuits. So, for our sugar spike story of the day, so we have this story. I had not covered this story. It's a recent story, but there's bad news with this story, okay? So I'm just going to brace you for it now. A young 15-year-old black boy was shot by police officers in Gulfport, Mississippi. He was on life support, but I found out, my update is that he was taken off life support and has passed away. And so just some background on the story. When was this? I want to say the incident happened, I believe it was last week. At any rate, what happened was police got a tip that there were some teens inside this Kia Soul car, and they were waving guns at people in the parking lot. And so the police came, rode up on the boys. The teens ran out the car. They all got out the car and started, running. One of the boys, whose name was Jaheim McMillan, ran into the Family Dollar. Or as Really B calls them, family trees, dollar families, whatever she called, Really be always jacking up the names. But the young man, Jaheim McMillan, ran into Family Dollar. The police ran after him and the other boys too, but there were officers that specifically ran after him because he ran into the Family Dollar, and believing that he might have been one of the ones with the gun. So he literally surrenders, gives himself up, comes to the door of the Family Dollar with his hands up, and immediately they shoot him in the head. Immediately. Like, as soon as he surrendered himself and turned around and puts his hands in the air and goes toward the door. They immediately shoot him in the head, like within a second or two. Shoot him in the head. He did not die. So the mom had talked to uh, not law enforcement, to news outlets in the area, and said, "Listen, I don't want to take my son off of life support. If there's a chance that he could, be saved, he could, make a recovery and so forth." So, um, so eventually, what happens is, um, the doctors told her, "Listen, there's nothing. He's only being kept alive via the machines." He had been on life support, and the mom was holding out to see if something happened or if it got any better. It didn't. So on Saturday, the mom, decided that she was going to take him off life support, and when she did, yeah, he succumbed to his injuries and is no longer with us. Um, so this is just a background. The mom's brother was also gunned down and killed by police in a similar situation, police profiling and police brutality. And the police shot and killed her brother. And a year after that was in 2018, and in 2019, the police were acquitted of any wrongdoing. And the victim, the 15-year-old boy Jaheim, is even on record. Did a spoke with the police, not the police, the news outlets in the area, and it's so chilling now. Here's what the young man said. He said he talked about them killing his uncle and how sad he was about them killing his uncle, and it's such a chilling tale that this would happen to the same family twice in a span of just a few years. When the mom goes there to try and see what's going on, they handcuffed the mom and took her and sat her down and walked her across the street. Let me say that again. When the mom shows up to the scene, they handcuffed the mom and walk her across the street like, let me say that again. When the mom comes there, they handcuff the mom and walk her across the street like, baby, this ain't going down like this. So, now they did find the other boys. They haven't even said yet if Jaheim McMillan was one of the suspects at all. Of course, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations is looking into it. They said there's an ongoing investigation into it, but there is video and body camera footage of all of it. And it's not looking good. There were witnesses there that witnessed the whole thing. Like I said, this was at Family Dollar. It's the middle of the day. So, but yeah, that's the update on that. I had heard about the story, and I had heard about him being on life support, but I did have an update. And I know I hadn't reported it here, but I wasn't sure if you all had heard the story, because I get a lot of stuff that come across my desk with this type of stuff that's happening. And so I wanted to bring that to you all. So his name is Jaheim, Jaheim is the first name. McMillan is the last name. McMillan is his last name. So that's the update with that. I wanted to kind of get that out of the way, because I know that's a story that kind of gives you pause and makes you go, you kind of clench a little bit, because these things just keep on happening. And what they want us to do is they want us to do one of two things. They want us to either, one, become desensitized to it, where we're not as affected by it anymore, or they want us to become um fatigued. They want to wear us out and have us become fatigued about it to the point where we just don't feel like talking about it or bringing this to light anymore. That's literally what they want us to do. One of those two things. They want us to either be desensitized to it where we just don't care anymore and it's just not that bad and we just succumb to the fact that this is what and how America is, or they want us to get so weary and so fatigued and so just exhausted with it all that we just say, I don't want to deal with it anymore. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to look at it anymore. I don't want to talk about it anymore. And that way they can continue to do these things and nobody's talking about it. So, UCMJ. What is UCMJ? Maybe I know, and I'm not putting together the acronym. Put it in the chat. But yeah, that's Jaheim McMillan. Tragic story, tragic story. And it's a shame that damn near every live that I do now, I have to bring up another name of another person that has been, senselessly murdered in this American genocide of Black people. Uniform Code of Military Justice. Okay, thank you. Thank you. See, God didn't call me to be in the military. He just caused me to love on military men. Like, I'm not built for the military, but I am built to take care of their men. Anyway, palate cleanser. Palate cleanser. Where's my palate cleansers? Okay, there we go. Palate cleanser. Well, since we're talking about people being racist and doing things they should not be doing, might as well go ahead and get this story out the way. Dear God. Yes, you will see me on Veterans Day. Making sure that I let all of America's veterans know what I think and feel about them, letting them know how much I appreciate them for their service. Oh, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Anyway, um, Los Angeles, the city of angels. You know it, Cabs. You know it. Kev, let me know if you need help with that, though. I can kind of let you know literally how much I appreciate you and your service and provide you with some service of my own. Anyway, um, the City of Angels is in the news today. Um, Over the weekend, some tapes leaked of some recordings leaked of three Los Angeles City Council people and officials in Los Angeles that were saying some quite incendiary things. I mean, uh, there's a lot there. There's a lot of there. And the three people involved in all of this is the now former president of the LA City Council, Nudie Martinez. In addition to her is Gil Cedillo, as well as Kevin De Leon. All three of whom are of Latinx descent and I'm not going to play the tapes the recording itself, but I'll give you some of the highlights of what was said. Now, let me give you some context because even just the context itself, and the whole conversation that um, led to these statements and comments isn't good to begin with. What happened is they were having a discussion about redistricting. And this happened last year in October of 2021. And this happened as they were discussing redistricting and discussing how best to keep certain areas of Los Angeles out of the districts of Black city councilmen or city council persons. Okay. So that in itself is not good. But when you hear the conversation, it becomes just quite unsightly. Um, she uses, and Nudie Martinez is the one who's going to bear the brunt of this, but all three of them are being asked to resign from now. Nudie Martinez has resigned from her position as president, but she hasn't resigned from the LA City Council. So here's some of the things that came out of that. When she was talking about George Gascon, who is of Latinx descent, she said on the tape, she could be heard saying, "Fuck that guy. He's with the blacks." Now, the most, and which is enough, but the most flack that she's taking is her comments about uh city councilman Mike Bonin's son. Mike Bonin is a member of the city council. He's white. He's gay. He has an adopted son. He's adopted a son who is black. Let me go again. Mike Bonin is gay. He's white. He adopted a son who's black. Now, she talks about that there was a parade, and you know how on parades they have people on floats and stuff like that. And she begins to talk about the behavior of Mike Bonin's black son in this parade on the float. Now, the parade in question was back in 2017 when that child was 3 years old. Okay, 3-year-old child. Here's what she could be heard saying. And then there's this white guy with his little black kid who's misbehaved. They're raising him like a little white kid, which I was like, this kid needs a beat down. Bonin thinks he's fucking black. And so she said that about him, talking about how she wanted to go and take the little boy out back and beat him. There was also a moment where she called him a Hispanic term, which means little monkey. There's also a moment in the tapes where she calls Bonin a bitch. And while people may say, okay, the use of a curse word, these things happen, but when you add the context of him being LGBTQ, that paints it in a different light. In the same vein, if Mike Bonin's son was white, nobody would care about the whole little monkey comment. It would be taken as not that big of a deal. But because the little boy is black, that whole little monkey thing adds a whole different texture and tone to it. In the same vein, if Mike Bonin is not gay, him being called a bitch probably isn't that bad. But the fact that he is, it adds a whole different layer and context and texture to it that adds a homophobic layer to it. Then there's the whole cognitive dissonance of her saying she's raising this black boy like a white kid, and which has a whole cognitive dissonance to it. In addition to all of that, she then spoke about some Hispanic people in Koreatown, and she called them short, dark people. Now, many of these individuals that live in Koreatown are indigenous people. They are from countries that are deemed Latin, or from areas meaning parts of Mexico or parts of California that are deemed Latinx or Hispanic, but these are indigenous people. And what ends up happening is all of those people get lumped into this one little bowl of, oh, you're Hispanic or Latinx. And like I tell you all of the time, Hispanics are not a monolith by any stretch of the imagination. And by her calling them short, dark people, you see all of the flavors and textures and layers of that right there. Because she's even talking about people who the outside world would deem Latinx or Hispanic. She's talking about them in a horrible way with other Latinx people. And let's just say the people in Koreatown took very big offense to that. And the fact that she's calling them dark people, we know that there's a real racial divide and there's a real colorism situation within the Latinx community in many countries where the white presenting Hispanic and or Latinx people look down on the darker Latinx or Hispanic community within the same country. So all of this happened. Now, the one guy who they said Cedillo is the one, Gil Cedillo, he never said any of the bad statements. And he never really did. He just was on there and didn't stop her, didn't say anything. So he's being asked to go down with her. Kevin De Leon was in the Amen section, like, show Liz, girl, Now, here's what's coming in because of all of this, okay? So, people came down real quick. Like I said, this leaked on Reddit this weekend. And people came out, baby, they started marching to that woman's house on Sunday. They was having a whole protest and marching to that woman's house on Sunday. So the apology train came. She issued an apology and stuff like that. And so Mike Bonin came out first, okay? Mike Bonin, whose son was talked about, he released a statement calling for Martinez, and calling for all of them, Martinez and Herrera, and I'm sorry, the three that was on the phone was it was four of them. Nudie Martinez, what's Herrera's first name? I can't think of Herrera's first name right now. Ron Herrera, who's the leader of the LA Labor Federation. He's president of the LA Labor Federation. Hey, what's going on, Quintessential? And then there's Gil Cedillo and Kevin De Leon. Now, Mike Bonin came right out because they was talking about his son, and I don't blame them, because when you talk about people's kids, that you deserve whatever you get. Mike Bonin came right out and said, listen, he called for Martinez to be or to resign, Herrera to resign, and De Leon to resign. He only expressed disapproval of Cedillo because Gil Cedillo, like I told y'all, he didn't he never said anything bad. He was just on the phone. He wasn't in the Amen section. He wasn't over there adding to the commentary about this. But the other three was, Herrera was, Nudie Martinez was leading the whole conversation. And De Leon was also in the Amen section. So Mike Bonin says, listen, we are appalled, angry, and absolutely disgusted that Nudie Martinez attacked our son with horrific racial slurs and talked about her desire to physically harm him. It's vile, abhorrent, and utterly disgraceful. End quote. I agree wholeheartedly. He went on to say in his statement, it hurts that one of our son's earliest encounters with overt racism comes from some of the most powerful public officials in Los Angeles. Hey, Jay Parrish, listen, what he said, all of it, all of it. The National Association of Latino elected and appointed officials have also called for Nudie Martinez to resign. The LA police chief, um, Michael Moore, said it was a quote dark day for our city of angels. United States Senator Alex Padilla, we know who took Kamala Harris's position, has also come out and condemned the remarks and called for all three of them to resign. Um, all of them to resign. Alex Padilla said, quote, as a father, I am offended that an innocent child was a target of these remarks at a time when our nation is grappling with a rise in hate speech and hate crimes. These racist comments have deepened the pain that our communities have endured. Los Angeles deserves better. Um, like I said, they went on the apology train. They said all of those things. Here's what Nudie Martinez said. She says, as someone who believes deeply in the empowerment of communities of color, I recognize my comments undercut that goal. Going forward, going forward, going forward, reconciliation will be my priority. I have already reached out to many of my Black colleagues and other Black leaders to express my regret in order for us to heal. Baby, you want this heal to happen involving you, and the heal is not going to involve you. Baby, I don't know what you holding out for. I don't know how you think this is about to go in your favor. I don't know what bulletless gun you're holding, thinking you have a shot at keeping your position. Baby, it's going down. You about to get fired. And this whole going forward situation leads me to believe that you need to be in that spot. Take your ass somewhere, crawl up in your corner, and never see the light of day again. We want no parts of you. We want no parts of you. You meant what you said. And had those recordings never seen the light of day, you would still feel the same way. You harbor those feelings in your heart. If you listen to the recording, the way she so effortlessly, there was venom in her voice. There was vitriol in her voice. You could hear she don't like that Mike Bonin guy. In the way she talked about not just his Black son, but those darker skinned indigenous Latinx people over in Koreatown. Oh, she feels some kind of way. Listen, let's be clear. A lot of the white presenting Latinx people and Hispanic people across this country would love to take on their own mantle of white supremacy and breastplate. You know what I'm saying? What do I see? Y'all don't make me forget my old terms. Is mantle of white supremacy and breastplate of white privilege. Privilege. There it is. There it is. Mantle of white supremacy and breastplate of white privilege. But I'm saying a lot of Latinx white presenting people would love to do that. Look at the Marco Rubios of the world and all of the Cuban population down there in Miami. You see what this woman and all of the people on this whole phone call with her are all Latinx and Hispanic people. You see what they are saying about their own, and it's a shame that I'm saying that these people are their own community, because like I said, a lot of those people in Koreatown are indigenous people, and because they're from areas that are deemed Hispanic or Latinx areas or country, they're just lumped all into being Hispanic or Latino, and they're not. And we see what these Latinx and Hispanic people think about those people. It's horrible. It's heinous, and like Mike Bonin said, it's abhorrent. Now, Kevin De Leon has come out and said, apologized for what he called wholly inappropriate comments. He also went on to say, quote, I regret appearing to condone and even contribute to certain insensitive comments about a colleague and his family in private. I've reached out to that colleague personally. On that day, I fell short of the expectations we set for our leaders, and I will hold myself to a higher standard. End quote. Girl, girl. I don't think they're going to make it to tomorrow. I think by tomorrow there's going to be such an outcry. There was a whole rally down to City Hall this morning in LA with protests from Black organizations and indigenous organizations from Koreatown that were there in solidarity to protest and to call for the resignation of all of these people involved, all of them, all of them. Because while Gil Cedillo didn't say anything, the fact that you didn't say anything speaks volumes. Your silence speaks volumes. Speaks volumes. Um, I have the recording. Like I said, I've heard the recordings all day long. They're easily found. Um, I'll see if I can find them and put them in the chat for you. Quintessential, but hold on, let me see. Uh, see if I can find the recordings for you. Because like I said, those recordings have been playing all. I first heard them yesterday, and then I heard them. And then I heard more of it today. Like I said, they were released on Reddit. All right, I think this is it. Hold on, let me see if I can get this for you. Quintessential. Uh, try this link right here. See if this link works to get the recording to you. If one of the mods can find it and post a link to the recordings, please do that. But they're easily found. Quintessential. Just a quick Google search and you'll find it. Um, so, but yes, these people, you just can't do. And let's be clear, these are all Democrats. Remember, this is Los Angeles, the bluest of blue areas. And what do I keep telling you all? Racism is not just subject to Republicans and people in red areas. In some of the bluest of blue areas within the Democratic Party, racism is still there. The racism and bigotry even happens with these other people who they lump into the peoples of color umbrella. I keep telling y'all, a lot of Hispanic and Latinx people want no parts of the experience of being a minority with Black people. None. They want their own version of white supremacy. And if that comes at the cost of Black people, they will go ahead and use it. These people, are alleged Democrat, and I shouldn't say alleged, they are Democrats. They come from a long line of these centrist Democrats, and let's be clear, along the lines of the Pelosi's, Schumer's, Clyburns, and all of those centrist Democrats that have been in positions of power for a very long time, and don't want to relinquish it and don't want to give it up. And they have nefarious private committees and all types of secret conversations like the one that we're talking about now, where they do everything in their power to keep power. Because remember, the whole purpose of this conversation was redistricting and keeping certain parts of Los Angeles out of the district of black councilmen. They were trying to keep certain areas of Los Angeles that were prominent, that had uh, city things and places in it that may allow for it to get more money, things like that. They talked on there about redistricting the airport so as to not have it in one of the black councilmen's districts and all types of things. These people are having nefarious and subversive private meetings all the time to do everything in their power to keep things away from real people, black people, poor people, marginalized people. And it happens within our own ranks. And I'm going to give you a news flash. It ain't just the Latino people hating on their fellow Latino people. It's the black people hating on us, black people hating on ourselves as well. We got a lot of those centrist black people like Jim Clyburn and some of those others that I'm telling you about that do a lot of things that hurts our own people. We've seen that for decades now. Meanwhile, Karen Bass, beautiful black congresswoman from is running for mayor, and right now she's in the lead. Polls are showing that she is in the lead to take that mayor's seat. She came right out and said, "Listen, we need to do all we can to unite our community. I will be working with people on both sides to bring us together. They absolutely need to resign, and we need to put people in place that are going to do things to mend some of these cuts and broken places within our community." I'm just glad she ain't come out and try and act like this wasn't a thing, because we absolutely positively know it absolutely is a thing. And the quicker we acknowledge it and realize it, the better we'll be. Just a mess. Just a damn mess. But like I said, I expect that by tomorrow, all of them are resigning. And if they don't resign by tomorrow, that tells you even more of about them, their hubris, and how unapologetic they are. Thank you, Tracy. Quintessential Tracy put a link to get all of the audio there, and you can listen to it yourself. These people have a lot of hubris, and these people, um, those centrist old school Dems that don't want to give up power, they will do anything in their. We know this. We have the story. We have so many countless stories. Jessica Cisneros in Texas. We have India Walton in Buffalo, New York. I heard that they're putting money to against the candidate that's running against Cori Bush and Rashida Tlaib. We see what they did up there in New York with the redistricting in New York that's going to keep a sitting member of Congress out of a progressive sitting member of Congress out of his seat, a black member of Congress. These centrist, old school, old guard in the goddamn Democratic Party, they don't mean us no good. They mean themselves good, because just like their counterparts on the other side of the aisle, they are lining their pockets with all of the money from special interest groups and anybody who give them money so as to keep money in their pockets and keep poor people poor. Because I maintain, and I've said this for a long time, if Democrats have a vested interest sometimes in keeping poor people poor just as much as the Republicans. The Republicans want to do it so they can feed their own pockets with the rich people, but the Democrats do it sometimes so that they can feed off of that and say, "See, you need us to fight for you because we're the great white hope, and we're gonna fight for poor people, and we're gonna fight for the marginalized people." All the while, they want no parts of us. They want all parts of whoever can line their pockets. Okay. Hey, Pinky Tiki. Quintessential, you asked me earlier what was I snack. I don't have no snacks right now, but I am drinking on Crayon Tropical. I don't have no snacks in front of me right now. Mm, a mess. A whole ass mess. A whole ass goddamn mess. That's what's going on in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, vote these people out. Like I told y'all, some of these people, if they done been in office 10, 15, 20 years, they probably still have 20, 30-year ideology. If they done been in office 10 or 15 years, they have the thinking of 20 to 30 years prior. Let me say that again. However long they've been in office, you multiply that by two and sometimes three, and that's the mentality and ideology that they have in their head. And some of these people, they need to just be voted out. Just vote their ass out, especially on the Democratic side. Now, Republicans done got a clue. Republicans were ahead of the curve. They said, listen, new school Republicans are racist, bigoted, and way far right. And if you ain't going along with that, we don't have no parts of you. Democrats don't see the forest through the trees. They still trying to hold on to shit like it's the 80s and goddamn 90s and trying to be centrist, thinking that's the way that their party is going, when their party is going way more left. And that's why they're trying to keep the younger politicians out of the races and doing everything in their power to have these types of meetings to keep people out of positions of power. It's a whole goddamn mess around here, a whole damn mess. And with that, I'm going to my next palate cleanser. Damn palate cleanser. Goddamn mess out here. Where did I leave off? Dear Lord. Oh, there's some great for some of y'all, like, men of a certain age, men who are seasoned. Pull up my next story. Glad I got that out of the way before I lost my goddamn mind. So let's start with Kim. And we're going to go from Kim to Kanye. All right. So I am going to play this audio, y'all. So yeah, I am going to play this audio. All right. So Kim Kardashian is in the news because Candace Owens has come across this tape or this audio. Speaking of audio, let's go into another piece of audio. Candace Owens got this audio of Kim Kardashian, who's leaving a voicemail message for Ray J back in the day. And in this audio, she has some very horrible things to say about Whitney Houston. Now, at the time, it said that Ray J had broke up with her to date Whitney Houston, and she decided that she was going to go full throttle on Whitney Houston and tell Ray J how she really felt. Let me play this audio for y'all. Now, the first person you're going to hear is Candace Owens trifling ass. We can't stand that hooker. I can't stand that bitch at all. She can go somewhere and fall off the side of a building. But we just here for the audio. Let me turn this up so y'all can hear. All right. Here we go.
Everything that they see is a deception and a lie. Well, some tapes are making the rounds of Kim Kardashian, and she's talking trash. This is years ago. It seems to be a voicemail that she left Ray J, where it's not the sweet little Kim K that she presents today. She's nasty. She's calling Whitney Houston a crackhead, and she's yelling at Ray J. And this tape landed on my lap, and I am told that there is much, much more. And it is the opposite version of the Kim Kardashian that your kids have been following. This is just a sample of the tape. Again, this is a voicemail that she left Ray J. Take a listen.
Ray, it's Kim. I just want you to know that I think you are so disgusting and desperate. Who leaves their email address on their machine? You clearly want people to call you, but yet you won't call me back. And actually, you know what? Don't call me back. Don't ever call me back. I never want to talk to you ever again. I think you're honestly a sick human being. And it's just, you are just so desperate that you'll do anything for attention. And you're just so disgusting. Honestly, so, like, have fun with old hag Whitney Houston. Like, she's so sick, and like, crack is definitely not whack with you guys, because you know, just honestly, like, makes me laugh on how disgusting you guys look. You're okay. You're in Vegas with Whitney, and you need to go hang out with your old, like, friend. And it's not right, but it's okay. I'm definitely gonna make it anyway, because you guys are just disgusting and sick, and stop being with her. I don't understand it. She's so old and sick, and you are just sick and desperate. So leave me the alone and stop calling me. I hate you.
So it's being alleged that she left that voicemail because she was upset that Ray J at that moment was becoming more famous than her because he was dating Whitney Houston, who obviously has now passed.
So that is the audio. Thoughts? Any thoughts before I add my commentary? I just want to know. Now, I'm with you. I don't believe no parts of, oh, it landed in my lap. China White, I don't believe no parts of it. Hey, little baby, I don't believe no parts of this landed in your lap. This landed in your lap. Now, she goes on to say a lot of things. She's calling Whitney Houston old hag. And I guess she thought she was cute when she said it's not right, but it's okay. I'm going to make it anyway. Really, that shit was cute to you? Because that shit is not cute. Like, you know, you can say what we want. See, this is where, you know, us black people, and it's, I hate that we get like this sometimes, but sometimes I like when we get like this. You know how us as black people are. We could talk about our people, but what the fuck is not going to happen is your monkey ass is not going to talk about our people. Kim Kardashian. We could talk about Whitney Houston. We can call her everything but a child of God. It's kind of like with your own mama. I can talk about my mama all I want to. But what the fuck is not going to happen is your stinking ass talk about my goddamn mama. Bitch, we'll drag you all over this place. So in the same vein, Kim Kardashian, I don't give a fuck what black people have said about Whitney Houston over the years. What's not gonna happen is our stinking ass sit the fuck down here and just let you just go on talking about our Whitney, our Nippy. Bitch, we'll fuck you up about Nippy. Do you know how we feel about Miss Whitney Elizabeth Houston? You lost your goddamn. Now, I just find this real convenient that before I get to Candace Owens and her level brand of fucker, let me finish with Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian, this is par for the course. Her and the rest of those Satan spawns in that entire clan, from Kris Jenner to Caitlyn Jenner to the Khloe and all of the other clan over there with the Kardashian skanks. This is par for the course. Like, I don't know where Candace Owens is talking about, oh, this isn't the Kim Kardashian that she likes to present. Yeah, it is. I believe every part of it. It absolutely fits the brand and model of Kim Kardashian. It absolutely does. She is upset. Listen, the way she was screaming in that phone, mom is upset that she ain't get her back blown out no more. And she's threatened because you see how she called Whitney Houston the old hag? She is jealous and threatened that instead of her back getting blown out by Ray J, now Whitney Houston is, and she's mad. She's angry. She could remember you can't tell her she ain't white. And let's be clear, they're from aren't they Armenian? And by and large, is it Armenian not quite white? Isn't that considered Middle Eastern and not really white? But let them tell it they white. So it's a threat to her white supremacy and white privilege for her to think that this black man, because let's be clear, white women love stealing black men from our community and love putting their hooves and hooks into them and saying you can't never have this black man back. We take it black men. They're gonna be our little sex slave. It's their own little form of slavery because they turn them into their own little sex slaves and all that kind of stuff. That's a whole nother story. We could really break that down one day, but we ain't got enough time right now to really break that down. But it's her own little claim to white privilege and white supremacy for her to think, I know you fucking lying. This black and you could I'm surprised she didn't say it. She probably said this black bitch, how the fuck you go leave me for this black bitch over here? I done had all this work done. I done had all of this silicone pumped into my body. I done had every piece of my body stretched and moved and contoured by every plastic surgeon this side of hell. And you gonna leave me to be with her old ass, her cracked out old ass? I know the fuck you lying. You mean to tell me I can't get that big long dick up in me every day? You giving it to this old bitch now? She was upset. She was jealous. I guarantee you this whole conversation wouldn't have went this way if Ray J had left her for Britney Spears or a white woman or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Ariana Grande. Now this was too long ago for it to have been Ariana Grande, but back then, had it been a Britney Spears or all maybe not a Christina Aguilera because she's it's Hispanic or Latin descent, but you know what I'm saying? Had it been a white girl, there wouldn't have been that much venom and vitriol. But because it's Whitney Houston, who's twice her age, I'm just saying. Nah, she announced from the beginning, this is Kim. She absolutely announced it, little baby. This is Kim. Ciao. Ciao. I'm gonna add all my extra stuff, Pinky Tiki, because I just don't like them anyway. So anytime I get a moment to pile on, I will. I don't feel bad for her. I will. I do not care about her. Child. Right, 4 noses ago. Kim couldn't run at her Easter Eve. Child. She was still stealing credit cards back then. Child. Child. I don't need a reason to drag Kim Kardashian. Anytime I get now, let me go to your ass, Candace Owens, because I know your ass will take any liberty and any example you want, any chance you can to disparage um anybody. You probably loved hearing Kim Kardashian throw out all of these remarks to Whitney Houston. We know you ain't here for us. And this whole, oh, this fell in my lap, fell in your lap from goddamn where? That shit came from Kanye. Kanye is out here. Oh, listen. Kanye is out here, just setting fire to the rain. in the immortal words of one Miss Adele. He is out here setting fire to the rain. Okay? Kanye don't give a shit. If it's gonna hurt Kim Kardashian, baby, he's gonna put it out there. You know, that's another story that just came out with Kim Kardashian. She had to buy extra security down there to the school because Kanye is ranting and raving, talking about some, oh, you need to have his kids go to my he done opened this Donda Academy or whatnot. And he wants her to put the kids at that school instead of the private school they at. So he done tweeted out the name of the school so people could roll up to the school. She done had to order extra security down there to the school. The baby Northwest had a basketball game the other day, and he rolled up to the basketball game, um, and with photographers and everything. Just a damn mess. Mind you, they say that damn school that he opened ain't even accredited. The principal of the school ain't never even worked in education in their life. You don't even need no certification. They say it's a whole goddamn mess at the damn school. Just a mess. Just a whole goddamn mess. But Candace Owens, unless it's Donald Trump, she don't care whose house gets burned to the ground. She don't care. Just a mess. No, I think I see what you're saying, little baby. I think Kanye got it from Ray J. Well, maybe Ray J sent it to Kim. Remember, Ray J was talking about offing himself this weekend, talking about, oh, you know, he remember we talked about that on Silly Saturday, the fact that he was suicidal and everything. Maybe Ray J put it in her inbox or whatnot. I don't know. But what I do know is that shit ain't just fall in your lap, Candace Owens. You ain't shit. And the fact that you still are gallivanting on Al Gore's good internet, Candace, is a travesty to mankind, Miss Owens. Child. A mess. Just a mess. But if y'all looking for me to have sympathy for the likes of a Kim Kardashian skank, keep waiting. I mean, at the time, little baby, that's not today's Kim Kardashian skank. That's Kim Kardashian skank from back in the goddamn day when she wasn't a billionaire back then. And when Ray J was dating Whitney Houston, that was way back when Ray J was dating. Hell, Ray J was dating Whitney Houston. What was that, like 08? Hell, Whitney Houston been dead 10 years. And Ray J was dating her several years before she died. When did the sex tape leak? Child. But the recording sounds old because when you hear Candace Owens, you hear it clear. But then when the recording comes, it sounds like an old recording. Like from, that done been, digitized several times and been passed around several times. It sounds like an old recording. I don't know. I believe it. I have no reason not to believe it. Kim Kardashian is a horrible individual. I don't care about her. Anyway, since we talking about y'all's boy, Kanye. Oh, let me give a palate cleanser. Um, Child. He was dating her So Jeff when she died. He was. All right, palate cleansers. Where did I leave off? Did I do him? There's one. There's another one. There's another one. I like his lips for some reason. There's another one. All right. So this last story, God, God of mercy, God of love. Um, right, Jason. If it ain't real, trust me, it'll come out real fast. If it wasn't real, Kim would have been all over that. Hell, Kris Jenner would have been all over. If it was not real, Kris Jenner would have been all over that. Please believe. Please believe. Please believe. Who are you calling me? All right. I think this is my last story. Oh, I told y'all I didn't. The dossier was not jam packed today. We done been on here about an hour and a half. So, um, child. So Jeff, I thought about you. I'll tell you why I thought about you in a few minutes. When I get through with this story, so Jeff, I'll tell you why I thought about you. Okay, you just stay your ass right there. Stay your ass right there. Lord. Um. So y'all's boy Kanye West has been ceremoniously thrown off of Instagram, right? Was it Instagram that they threw him off of? So he said, no, I'm sorry, he was thrown off of Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. So he said, quote, I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going Death Con 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti Semitic because black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda. End quote. Now, that's not where I'm going with this. So, Kanye West's trainer and some other people of Jewish descent had some things to say. His trainer's name is Harley Pasternak. He is a very well-known trainer. He's worked with Gwyneth Paltrow, Kanye, and Kim Kardashian's skank. When reached for comment, Pasternak told Newsweek, quote, I think Kanye has a history of mental health issues, and it appears that he's probably going through an episode right now. If people continue to give him a platform to discuss hateful, anti-Semitic rhetoric, they're complicit. So I applaud Facebook and Twitter. Also, let me continue on. What's the chick's name? Sarah Silverman. Sarah Silverman said, quote, Kanye threatened the Jews yesterday on Twitter, and it's not even trending. Why do mostly only Jews speak up against Jewish hate? The silence is loud. Pasternak also said, quote, I spoke to Kanye for about 5 hours yesterday, and his communication is very incoherent at this point. It doesn't forgive someone for being anti-Semitic. In fact, the In fact, the lack of outrage over his tweet from people is very sad. Regardless of whether he's mentally ill or not, it's not acceptable. End quote. He also went on to say, as someone who's been as someone who's been his friend for 15 years, I will not speak with him again until he issues a formal apology. He seems like he's either having or is on the verge of a mental break. This is a person who probably struggled understanding reality from not reality, even in the best of times. And I'm extraordinarily saddened by the lack of outrage. The amount of outrage that came from a t-shirt that he wore a few days earlier was a millionfold more vocal than the tweet that he implied that he was going to wipe out a race of people. End quote. Let me start by saying the entirety of my comments is going to be notwithstanding the fact that this involves Kanye. That ain't where I'm going with this, okay? It's a shame that it involves Kanye, but that ain't where I'm going with this. Okay? So these people and we just saw this with the Hispanic and Latinx community. People who are white presenting, and I'm going to say that unequivocally. People who are white presenting, even Jewish people, they can't stand when it's off of them. Because you notice more so this your friend more so than you saying, oh my God, I need to get my friend some help. You're more upset of an outrage because I feel like it's not even about him being anti-Semitic. Your outrage and Sarah Silverman's outrage is the fact that the White Lives Matter and the fact that Black people were upset and the fact that there was more attention on the things that he was saying about Black people got more notoriety than the fact that what he said about Jewish people got notoriety. And if you really want to go anti-Semitic, Jewish people, need I remind you what the fuck y'all got going on over there in the Middle East with Palestine? The fact that y'all are killing literally millions of people over there in Palestine. Women, children, babies, and all. If that ain't anti-Semitic, I don't know what is. But let's go back to the crux of this situation. Y'all are more upset because people spoke out about issues concerning Black people. And y'all want more spotlight on y'all's issues. Mind you, they went and carved out a whole country for Jewish people when they felt like they had that Jewish people had been wrong. Mind you, America has become apologists for the genocide of Palestinian people. Americans have become apologists and silent for the war crimes and hate crimes that the Jewish people over in Israel commit to people in Palestine on a daily basis. America has paid for it. America is complicit in it. America is silent on it. I don't want to hear nothing from y'all because America ain't gave us a goddamn thing over here. It's Black people. So don't y'all come over here trying to deflect and say, oh, y'all gave all of the Black people all of that stuff. Why we ain't get nothing? Because last time I checked, they didn't kick Kanye West off when he was saying these disparaging things about Black people. But the moment he said something about one of y'all and y'all got the least bit perturbed about it, what did they do? Snatched his ass down. Do you know how many horrible insidious things he said about us as black people. Candace Owens has said about us as black people, and they ain't never been shut off a goddamn Twitter and Instagram for that. But the moment he says something and you people profess that he ain't got enough flack for it, what happens immediately? We don't think he's ever gotten enough flack for what he's done and said to us, but they don't give a shit. But the moment y'all feel even slightly perturbed by something, now all of a sudden, but they snatch them down real fast. But y'all still gonna go on y'all tirade about how they care more about us black people than they do about Jewish people. They care more about racism against black people than they do about anti-Semitic comments. Make it make sense now. Make it make sense. Please make it make sense. Because while y'all over there screaming from the rooftops, talking about Kanye, let me read this quote again. Because if that ain't gaslighting, I don't know what is. Here's what this guy, Harley Pasternak, said. Where is it at? It was one comment that, oh God. It was one comment that I was like, really? Because it was such gaslighting. Where is it at? Where's it at? I want to find it. I can't even freaking find it now. It was a comment where he said, God, I'm so mad I can't find this freaking comment. Shoot. Oh, here it is right here. I found it. Ooh, I knew I was gonna find it. This. I want y'all to listen to the totality of this sentence right here from this guy, Harley Pasternak. He says this, quote, the amount of outrage that came from a t-shirt that he wore a few days earlier was a millionfold more vocal than the tweet that he implied that he was going to wipe out a race of people, end quote. Y'all help me understand, even with Kanye West and his $billion net worth, how the fuck in everything that is holy did you surmise that he was saying that he's, or even has the capacity to wipe out a whole race of people? But what we do know is that white people are continuously to this day doing everything in their power to wipe out the black race every chance they get, and you spreading white lives matter goes to proliferate that. Just a mess. Gaslight much? It's the whole, he implied that he was going to wipe out a race of people. Really? Really? Girl. But I noticed how quickly they snatched his ass down when y'all had something to say about him being anti-Semitic, him being racist, him saying all types of horrible things that perpetuates and proliferates the killing and genocide of black people here in this country, and they ain't even batting an eye. Instagram, Twitter, the Book of Faces, none of these social media platforms batted an eye. But y'all get a little bit perturbed about something, and now y'all call it out saying people ain't outraged enough, and they shut the whole platform down. Not that I'm saying that his platform shouldn't have been shut down, but what I'm saying is keep the same energy. Keep the same goddamn energy. I mean, what are we talking about here? I just found those comments like, really, if you don't go sit your goddamn ass down somewhere, you answer, and I'm not gonna even go. Listen, Sarah Silverman is a horrible human being. There's a whole lot I can say about her. Sarah Silverman, you better go sit your ass down. You better sit your motherfucking ass down somewhere, Sarah Silverman, because I'm telling you, we could really drag you. It's a whole lot of horrible things about you, Sarah Silverman. You better go sit your ass down the fuck somewhere, Sarah Silverman. If you know like I know, you better keep your ass out of this argument. It's a whole lot of people saying a whole lot of awful things about black people. They're not ceremoniously removing these people off of social media. I'm just saying keep the same energy. And we're in the business of shutting people down, which they should be in the business of shutting people down when they say things that are, along this line. However, let's be equitable. Child, let me get some out here. Get the last two palette cleansers out. Here's one. Dear God. And there's one. Lord. So Jeff, while you're in the room, God, just to lighten the mood, Lord, since you here. Tommy Tuberfield, child, he's been that way for a long time. I'm not going to even waste my breath on him. He's been that way for a long time. So I'm not going to even go down this road with him. But so Jeff, since you in the room, I thought about you yesterday. I got a DM in my Instagram. And all my Instagrams is set to, you can't just DM me. Like I have to accept the DM or whatnot. So I felt charitable and benevolent. So I said, I don't know what this person is. Let me see what it is. So they was like, yeah, I watched you like a week or two ago, and you had some things to say about Beyonce. I said, God damn, so Jeff for these Beehive people. And he was like, because you were saying you like Mariah, and Mariah Carey has never sang a note that was even in the same world as Beyonce. Beyonce is the greatest singer and entertainer that has ever lived, and you better not ever compare her to none of these other people. And I was like, the shit that got me so Jeff is the fact that he said that Mariah Carey has never sang a note in the same. I would argue that it's the flip side. So Jeff, there is no world, there is no universe, there's no alternate reality where Beyonce is even in the same airspace as Mariah Carey vocally. Are you fucking kidding me? That was the delusion for me. Them said, if you say that Beyonce can outdance Mariah and all this, that, and the third, I will go with you. But vocally, what kind of? There is nothing that you can ever play by Beyonce that I can't immediately obliterate with something that Mariah Carey will. Are you kidding me? But you know that so Jeff. But it's these Riri's over here, these mentally challenged people over here in the Beehive that are not, in touch with reality. These people are not in tune with reality. The fact that this young man, and it was a guy too, was real passionate about the fact that Mariah Carey, that Beyonce cannot see Mariah Carey. I was like, what in every? I said, girl, I was like, I was like, I was like, right, exactly. Mariah Carey. There are certain people who you just Whitney Houston prior to, and I'm going to say prior to the Bodyguard or prior to having Bobby Christina, pre Bobby Christina, meaning before she was pregnant, or I would say even while she was pregnant, but before she had Bobby Christina, that Whitney Houston, it's not even a conversation. Mariah Carey, prior to the change of the millennium, meaning the first one, two, three, the first like 5 albums, Mariah Carey, Emotion, Music Box, Daydream, and what was the one that came out in '97 with Breakdown? That's with My All on it. That's and Honey. That album, well, I can't think of the name of this goddamn album. And I even throw Butterfly, thank you. And also the one with Heartbreaker. That was Rainbow. Rainbow. Those 6 albums right there. And if you want, you can include the Christmas album. Are you fucking kidding me? The first 7 albums of Mariah Carey was vocally nothing to be fucked up with. The first 3 Whitney Houston albums, and if you want, I might let you throw in the Bodyguard soundtrack. So I'll give you those 4 albums. But those first 3 Whitney Houston albums, absolutely. And I'll let you include the Bodyguard soundtrack, are some of the greatest music that you could ever have. Nick Cannon ain't take her throat. Touring took Mariah Carey's throat. Let's just be clear. They ran Mariah's throat into the ground in the late 90s, ran it into the ground. She had to stop touring and get her voice back together. And that's why when Emancipation of Mimi came out, that album was so good because she went, let her voice rest, got her, voice back underneath her, and came and just knocked that album out the park. Actually, the Christmas album is not a cash cow. If you go listen to her vocals on that Christmas album, Mariah Carey was blowing. Remember, that Christmas album came out, I think, 92 or 93. Yeah, that Christmas album came out after Emotions and before Music Box. But she always had the nodules. She talks about that. She always had the nodules. That's not what messed up her voice. It was the touring, the tour, because they would have her doing 6 nights a week on stage singing 2 and 3 hours in the stratosphere 6 nights a week for like years, where her voice just got tore down. Kind of like Whitney's voice got tore down when they made Whitney Houston tour. If y'all remember, Whitney went on tour in the late 80s, and it's very well known. Whitney went on that tour and sounded horrible. She couldn't sing. She had a tear in her vocal cords and needed to let it heal. And the record label, Clive Davis, and they raggedy asses told Whitney, no, bitch, you going on this fucking tour because we done paid money. And Whitney went out there and sounded like a train wreck. That was in the late 80s. It's very well documented. And she and it sounded a goddamn mess. A goddamn mess. Almost ended her career. Oh, I see what you're saying. So yeah. But yeah, I remember when you knew Mariah Carey, the era when Mariah Carey's voice was probably at its worst because of the touring, is when she used to wear that big hair. She used to wear this big wig kind of thing, and it was real curly, like during the late 90s. If you remember, she did remember she had the song collab with Patti LaBelle with Got to Be Real. They redid Got to Be Real. She did a live album. Patti LaBelle did a live album. And Mariah Carey came and did, because y'all know Mariah Carey and Patti LaBelle is real close. That Mariah Carey calls Patti LaBelle her godmother. Anyway, but Patti LaBelle had a live album. I forgot the name of the album. It was a good album too. Patti LaBelle was singing her ass off. Anyway, so she invites Mariah Carey on stage so they could do "Got to Be Real." And Mariah Carey had been on tour; her voice was just gone, and Mariah Carey was trying so hard. Baby Pay Bill came out there, especially when they go, ooh, your love's for real. No, 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 your love is my love is your love. Our love is here to stay. Hey, hey. And when they hit that high note, Patti LaBelle said, "Baby, this is my song." And Mariah Carey tried, but her voice was gone. Patti LaBelle sang her on the table on that one. I'm like, you did that, Patti. Go and listen to it. It's a great song. But baby, Patti LaBelle said, "Baby, this is my song." Let me help you understand. You know, the last time I heard somebody do a duet or a collab, and they just snatched the mic from some people that they had collabing with them and said, "Baby, this is my song." If you remember when Karen Clark did "We Are Not Ashamed" with Mary. Karen Clark did "We Are Not Ashamed" with Mary. We are not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And baby, they got to the end of that song, to the vamp. And Mary, you know Mary can sing. Baby, they were singing they behind all. Baby Karen said, "Let me modulate this shit and show y'all that this is my song." And baby said them on the table, just, you know, Karen gonna open her mouth and holler. She hollered and said, "Baby, let me take my song back from you." And that's what Patti LaBelle did to Mariah, and that is it. Patti LaBelle said, "Girl, let me take this song from you." Baby, when it hit the high note, I was like, "Oh." That was the VH1 Diva special. Child. But Mariah voice was gone at that point. Like, it was no good at that point. Charm Bracelet, it it started before the Charm Bracelet era, because it started after Butterfly. Like, it was that period after Butterfly and before Rainbow. That's when it started to really take its toll. And then, but Charm Bracelet, and say what you want. Charm Bracelet, I like Charm Bracelet. One of my favorite songs is Bring It On the Heartbreak from Charm Bracelet. Oh my God. And remember, I Can Make It Through the Rain. That was a big hit from that Charm Bracelet album. Really big hit. But yeah, go listen to Bring It On the Heartbreak on that um Charm Bracelet album. Great song. Right, so Jeff, you know, Mariah Carey get in a damn studio, and you gotta have chops to say you finna sing a Mariah Carey song, baby. Child, you gotta have some chops, baby. And then that was during the whole glitter situation where they said she had the breakdown and everything. It was a lot going on with Mariah during the change of the millennium. A lot going on during that time. Yeah, she does some great covers. I think, what's my favorite cover by Mariah? I Can't Live If Living Is Without You. That's one of my favorites. I mean, that note, and she talks about to this day, there's a note that she holds in the middle of that song that she said, "I've never been able to do it again outside of the studio." She said, "I did it one time in the studio and was never able to do it again." Child, child. But yeah, the fact that your people, so Jeff, came in my inbox with that foolishness. But that joke was funny when Patti LaBelle said, "Girl, give me this, give me this, give me this." Patti LaBelle said, "Girl, give me this doggone song back." Girl. Sweetheart by Rainy Davis. That's your favorite one? What's my favorite? I Want to Know What Love is cool. I like it, but I think I like the original with the guy and the lady that comes on at the end of I Want to Know What Love Is. Now, Patti LaBelle, there was a live version of I Want to Know What Love Is, if you remember, where she infamously took that microphone from Diana Ross back in the 80s, and Diana Ross got mad. Baby Patti, you know you can't give Patti LaBelle a mic on the live stage back in the 80s. And Patti LaBelle went in and let have. And Diana Ross been mad with Patti LaBelle ever since. Wasn't that song I Want to Know What Love Is? I think it was I Want to Know What Love Is. That song was. Somebody to correct me if I'm wrong. But I think it was like an award show or something. And Diana Ross, they had Diana Ross leading. And so everybody came up on stage and Patti LaBelle. I mean, Diana Ross started passing the song the microphone to people, then would get the mic back. And everybody was kind of respectful. They would sing, real nice and real cheesy or whatever. Baby, she gave Patti LaBelle that mic. And Patti LaBelle snatched that microphone and wouldn't let go. And Patti LaBelle began to holler, baby, and took over the whole stage. I said, certain people you can't get no microphone to, baby. They go, how you think that's gonna go for you? You get Patti LaBelle mic, and this is back in the 80s when she was at the height of baby hollering. Child. Mm. Back in the day, not so much now. I think the song is I Want to Know What Love Is. I want to say that's the song that they were singing, baby. But back in the day, Patti LaBelle was infamous for singing without the mic. Patti LaBelle started on the song and started walking away from the mic and is still singing. And everybody in the audience, no matter how big that arena was, could still hear it. Baby, Patti LaBelle is infamous for that voice, baby, back in the day. She started walking away from the mic and it's no breaking sound. It's no less volume. You still get like, child. You say Celine felt her push that night. You remember when Celine tried to go and get child. While I always talk about Hate Retha and not her not being my favorite, I respect Hate Retha because Hate Retha could sing to her. Hate Retha had some highs now. Y'all can say what y'all want, but Hate Retha is in her bag. Hate Retha sings down, honey. Hate Retha, mama can sing down. I might hate on her because y'all know I don't like those raspy, airy voices. I talk about it all the time. But baby, Hate Retha. Well, hate Retha got some highs, and Hate Retha gonna hit some runs that's gonna make you go, ooh, girl. Mama can sing now. Right, Jason, after Beverly Hills Cop, me child. Cause New Attitude was on Beverly Hills Cop as well as Stir It Up. I love Stir It Up. Have y'all heard she redid Stir It Up with Joss Stone. Love me some Joss Stone. That's a singing face ass white girl, Joss Stone. Love me some Joss Stone. Hey, Patti LaBelle redid Stir It Up with Joss Stone. I want to say it was for the Stuart Little soundtrack, one of those cartoon movies that came out. I want to say it was Stuart Little soundtrack for that. Child, Hate Retha be singing down, child. One of my best collabs from Hate Retha is actually her and George Michael singing Knew You Were Waiting. And you see a lot of cheesy ass white people try to remake that song. Knew You Were Waiting. American Idol is good for trying to have horrible ass white people redo Knew You Were Waiting by George Michael and Hate Retha. But George Michael sang down on that song, please be clear. And baby, Hate Retha, go to the end of that song where Hate Retha started doing runs and shit, and Hate Retha started hitting high notes. I said, you better sing down, Hate Retha. Chat. Hate Retha be singing now. Mama can get up there now. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. Y'all don't got me to talk about this doggone music. So Jeff and his people. But yes, child, Diana. And first of all, Diana Ross, Diana Ross, you can't sing like that. You girl, you ain't no vocal powerhouse like that. Baby, I don't know why you thought giving that microphone to doggone Patti LaBelle was gonna go in your favor. Girl, how did you think this was gonna go? Girl. Just a mess. Just a damn mess. But child, certain people, all of them old girls like that, Shaka get like that too. Shaka, you give her a microphone, she'll holler. Shaka will holler in a minute. High is all get out. And maybe she'll just yell out and holler. Ah! Shaka will yell out and scream and holler in a minute. And I don't care how high she is. She just will. Just like Gladys. You know what I like about Gladys? I don't care how old Gladys get. Gladys always sounds like the album or like the record. Like when they would do the little foursome, that's what friends are for, with Dion, Stevie, Elton John, and Gladys Knight. And sometimes they wouldn't be able to get everybody there. But when they ever got there, when they would sing it live, because they would make money, they used that money to make that song raised money for AIDS awareness and AIDS research and things. So back in the 80s, but whenever they would go and sing that that's what friends are for, Dion would have her moments. Dion was kind of consistent too, but she was okay. Baby, every time Gladys Knight took that goddamn microphone, Gladys Knight sounded just like the album. Baby Mama was saying that every baby. You got to go look at the version that has Dion, Stevie, Whitney, and Luther. There's a version I think that got them for. For whatever reason, Gladys couldn't make it, and Elton John couldn't make it either. And it has Dion, Stevie, Whitney, and Luther. And you talk about four people. Y'all can say what y'all want about Dion right now. Them cigarettes that tore her up. But Dionne Warwick, go back and listen to some of them old Dionne Warwick. Dionne Warwick had a voice that was out of this world. Back when she was with Burt Bacharach and stuff. So you talk about four powerhouse singers right there. Dion, Stevie, Whitney, Luther, and this is back in the 80s, late 80s, I think it was, or at the latest, I think it might have been is 90, but it was like late 80s, very, very early 90s, but all of them still had voices. Girl, wasn't nothing to be fucked around with. Child. I love me some listen, my favorite Gladys song is Neither One of Us. I'm sorry, it's neither one of us. Listen, I don't care what you do, Gladys. I don't care where you go, but you better not ever do nothing and not sing Neither One of Us. Gladys also has a great remake of End of the Road by Boys to Men. Go listen to her live version of End of the Road by Boys to Men. Gladys sings that shit too. She sings her face off on that. I also love Overboard by Gladys. Gladys be singing down. Okay, do you hear me? Down, but Neither One of Us. Bitch, I'll fight you by Neither One of Us. Oh, Nudie is taking a leave of absence. That's her. That's her hubris and her arrogance. She just thinks it's gonna wash over. She's gonna be asked to resign. Leave of absence, my ass. But child, that Neither One of Us. Gladys don't owe me nothing for that. Nothing. That Love Overboard, she'll owe me nothing. The end of Neither One of Us is so somber and it is child. When she say farewell, my love, child, take me out every time. Telling you, Cass, when she say that farewell, my love, or when she say that last, neither one of us wants to be the first to say, oh, when she do that, oh, at the end, baby, I wish not. Or when she say that farewell, my love, baby, that's all I need right there, honey. That is all I need, honey. Girl, they just don't make singers like that no more. They don't make singers like that no more. Girl. Shit. And neither one of us. But yeah, that End of the Road, that live version of End of the Road. I even liked her. Remember when they did Missing You from Set It Off? I don't think they should have had Brandy on there. Tamia was good because Tamia sings her face off, and Tamia sings Brandy under the ground. Let's be clear. Tamia is a very underappreciated singer. Tamia sings her ass off. Do you hear me? They had Gladys, Shaka, Tamia, Brandy could have been left off of there. I'm trying to think who they could have had on there instead of Brandy. Because that was still back in the day when Brandy couldn't sing worth a damn. Let's be clear. There was a period of time in Brandy's career where I don't know who her mama sucked off. I don't know who she sucked off. I don't know who did what. But baby, Brandy could not sing. Them beginning days, them first, that definitely that first album. Even the Never Say Never album, her second album. And my favorite song by Brandy is on that Never Say Never album. My favorite song by and Brandy is Angel in Disguise, but she still was just yinging around the house then. It wasn't until maybe Full Moon that she started to come around. But her vocals have been very much, you said vocal pamphlet, maybe she's the vocal post-it note, honey. She's the vocal postcard, post-it note. Like, girl, vocal Kleenex, girl. Because, child, ooh. No, my favorite song by Tamia is I Know This Time Is Love. Oh, child. Ooh. Ooh, girl. But I'm trying to think who they could have had as the fourth person on that song at that time. Because when did I'm Missing You come out? That was mid-90s, right? Well, late to mid. I think when did Set It? It was on the Set It Off soundtrack. So let me see when Set It Off came out. Set It Off came out in 96. Okay. So I want to say Brandy's first album came out either 94 or 95. Somewhere around there. So who was popular? Female sing. They could have had Monica. That's mid-90s. Well, Monica had her best voice, let's be clear. That was when Monica still had her best voice. They could have had Monica instead of Brandy. If you would have put Monica on that song, Monica, Tamia, Shaka, Gladys, they wouldn't have owed me nothing. Wouldn't have owed me nothing. Wouldn't have owed me nothing, honey. Nothing. Think about it. Think of how, listen. Because let's be clear. At least for all of it, listen. Let me give y'all an insight into our little LGBTQ plus community. Whenever you have a battle of two singers on a collaboration song, motherfuckers pick sides, okay? They will pick sides. Like, for example, when Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey did When You Believe, you had to choose a side. If y'all was going, perform that song, everybody state claim on who they was going to do. But in the people that I hung around and in my circles, in my communities, because I remember when that song came out, I was old enough to remember when The Boy Is Mine came out, everybody wanted to be Monica. Nobody wanted to be Brandy. I'm just saying, because Monica was singing her face off. Everybody wanted to be Monica. Nobody wanted to be Brandy. I'm just saying in my circle. Because if you got relegated to the Brandy part, you'd be like, damn, bitch. When a bitch got relegated to being Brandy, you're like, fuck, shit, damn. I gotta be Brandy. Fuck. Yeah, Mariah ate. Mariah ate down, honey. And the sad part is, Jeff, Mariah ended up having to do both the top. If you go listen to the recording, Mariah had to do the top and the bottom on certain parts. Mariah had to do on certain parts of the harmonies. Mariah had to take the bottom, and on other parts of the harmonies, especially like when they modulated, Mariah had to take the top. And it was. But at that point, Whitney Houston's voice, the cigarettes and everything, Whitney Houston's voice, the swan song for Whitney Houston's voice was the Preacher's Wife album. And what helped Whitney Houston with that Preacher's Wife album is the oil and the anointing that Whitney Houston had. When Whitney Houston sings gospel, it's like nothing else, no other. And baby, even though the voice was going, when the oil and that anointing get on that goddamn voice, and Mama puts that microphone to her lips, baby, you can go ahead. You can take me on to glory. Because baby, when she sang that I love the Lord and sang that I'll hasten to take me on. I'm ready, God. When she sang that I love the Lord, written by the incomparable Richard Smallwood, I love the Lord. He heard my cry and pitied every wrong. When Mama sings that I'll hasten to, 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 baby, she don't owe me nothing. She don't owe me nothing. Baby, that was that last swan song for that voice. That was it. That was it. That was it. But even when she sang that Joy to the World, because who was that? I think that was Georgia Masquire that was accompanying her. I think it was Georgia Masquire. But that's just like, if you remember when Whitney and Cece sang on the Grammys, and Cece ate Whitney Houston up for dinner. Cece ate Whitney Houston for dinner, honey. Cece said, "Girl, I'm here for you, honey. Girl, let me go ahead and knock this babies." Cece ate Whitney Houston for dinner, honey. Cece had to get some get back, because if you go back to early '90s when BB and Cece went on Arsenio Hall, and they said, I think it was like 91 or something like that. And they sang "Hold Up the Light." And Whitney Houston came on stage and sang with them in "Hold Up the Light," because Whitney Houston is on the song "Hold Up the Light." Baby, when I tell you Whitney and Cece was battling, that was when Cece was still like kind of in her soprano range. Baby, but Whitney Houston was like, "I would not be denied." That was when Whitney still had the voice. She was like, "I'm not going to be denied here," and sang her face off and gave Whitney gave Cece everything she wanted. So Cece said, "Girl, I got to get some get back over here." Child, y'all don't have Miss Sharon pop out the bushes. Richard Smallwood is from my home. Oh, he is. Oh, wow, Miss Sharon. Child, Richard Smallwood has the golden pen. I don't know if a lot of people know, but Whitney's voice was cracking on that way. It was. Oh, it absolutely was. It absolutely was. Whitney's voice had not been through it at that point. Whitney's voice at that point had not. I'm telling you, her swan song, the last time her voice was going to do magic was that Preacher's Wife soundtrack. Child, child. Trying to tell you. Preacher's Wife soundtrack, baby. That oil hit that voice. The good Lord upstairs say, "Baby, I'm gonna give you one more time." You know how you know how he did Samson when Samson knocked down the whole arena, when he knocked down the pillar and said, "You got one more time. I'm gonna let you go on." I said, "After this one last time, you got one more time to show your strength." Whitney used to have one more time to show us strength. Good Lord said, "You gonna do it for me? All right, I got you. I'm gonna touch the voice one more time. I ain't gonna be the early '80s. It ain't gonna be the mid to late '80s voice. It ain't gonna be that voice, but I still touch it and give you something that's gonna give the people what they want." And baby, I always maintain, we as a human species were robbed of a Whitney Houston album in the '80s. If they would have, instead of having her do the third album be "I'm Your Baby Tonight," and I say that because my two favorite Whitney Houston songs are "Didn't We Almost Have It All" and "Miracle." And "Miracle" is on that. "Didn't We Almost Have It All" is on the second album. "Miracle" is on the third album. I love "Miracle" to death. But if they had not done the "I'm Your Baby Tonight" album and done the a gospel album right there, like right after that second album, That would have been arguably the best gospel album of all time. You wouldn't have been able to do nothing. The world wouldn't have been ready. The world wouldn't have been. I always said, let her do those for Clive. I'm gonna give you those first two albums. Let her do those first two albums. That third album, had she done a gospel album, because there were times on that third album where you started to hear chinks in the armor, and you could see like the first two albums, she's stratospheric. She is a definite soprano, a true soprano. When she gets to the third album, we heard some of the key, the key on a lot of her songs had gone down a few steps. And so it was still, she was still up there, but instead of her being like in the true soprano range, she was kind of like in the mezzo soprano range. Like, for example, to me, the Didn't We Almost Have It All with Houston, where if you go listen to the long version of Didn't We Almost Have It All, when Mama is up there in the stratosphere holding notes way up there, way touching God with her voice, holding and belting it out. Nothing like with them strings playing behind her. Baby. Chat. Anyway, I don't went off on a tirade. I was supposed to be off at 30 minutes ago. We already had damn near 2.5 hours. Dear God. Oh, I know he would have never allowed it. I know it. But I always say we were robbed. We were robbed. Had we gotten a Whitney Houston gospel album right after the second album, it would have been everything. Everything. I always say that's where Patti LaBelle went wrong, because Patti LaBelle ended up doing a gospel album. When did that come out? Like 2000 something or other, like early 2000s. She came out with a gospel album, but it was too late. Patti LaBelle was supposed to do a gospel album way back, like maybe during the 80s, maybe early 90s. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Anyway, let me get out of here. I've been on here way longer than I thought I was going to be. Baby, I thought I was going to do like an hour and 15 minutes. Y'all know what the dossier is empty. We have more to talk about. Listen, I got one more thirst trap. This thirst trap is for me. And before I put this thirst trap up, y'all don't look too long at my man, because I'll fuck y'all up by my man, okay? That's my boo Tyler James Williams, baby. Oh, this is a palate cleanser for me. This ain't for y'all. This is for me, honey. That's my Tyler James Williams. Ooh. I liked him even back in the days of Dear White People, when my friends used to look at me like, he is not cute. And I was like, that bitch is cute as fuck. He was cute on Dear White People. And now everybody looking at my man and fiending after him, because he over there been in the gym. And now he out here thirst trap. His birthday was the other day. His birthday was Sunday. Happy belated birthday to my boo. I had to give him some good that day and throw it back a little harder that day. But yeah, my boo's birthday was the other day. Happy belated birthday, boo. I think it was the 9th. You know, the guy who played his younger brother on Everybody Hates Chris is fine as fuck too. I can't remember his name, but the little light skinned one who was the younger brother, he was fine as fuck. He's fine as fuck now too. Child. Go look him up, baby. Anyway, we've been on here about 2.5 hours. Listen, we done touched everything, but we did some heavy lifting today. I did do some heavy lifting today. We had to break down a couple things today. We had to go down a lot of roads. We had to travel down some rabbit holes. We did some heavy lifting today. Xavier, you just coming in and we just finished, and we did some heavy lifting today too, Xavier. You're gonna have to go back and catch the replay. We was going in today. There was a lot of heavy lifting today. Child, we even went down the road with music. We went down the road with Hispanic people. We went down the road with Kanye, with Jewish people. We did a lot of heavy lifting today. A lot of heavy lifting. But I was here for it. Y'all know I'm always here for y'all, here for it. Damn it, Xavier, where you been? I even had to go in on the Beehive. Child, we spent a long time talking about Mariah, Whitney, Gladys. We even talked about Hate Retha. Hate Retha. Y'all think I can get a copyright claim if I play a little bit of Mariah? I just want to hear some Mariah. Now that I've been talking about my girl Mariah. What do I want to hear? I just want to hear some good Mariah. I want to hear. I want to hear. You say you just got off this good job. I want to hear the Anytime You Need a Friend a cappella version with the choir in the back. Yes, with the choir in the back. Is this the one with the choir in the back? Let me make sure. See if this the right one.
Prep for a first date.
We gonna get snatched. I ain't gonna even play the whole thing. I might not want to do that, huh? They're gonna snatch me all the way down, huh? They're gonna snatch me all the way. No, I need the one with the choir in the back. The one with the whole choir in the back. Hold on. Let me see if this the one. They're gonna snatch my whole shit down. That is the one, right? This the one right here. That's Mariah, honey. The one thing I like about Mariah, Mariah will fall off a note like nobody else. Fall off a note like nobody else. Do you hear me? Fall off a note. Whew, this is. He said let you watch it before they snatch it. Oh, let me stop before they snatch me down. Ooh, child. Don't do it to me, Mariah. I only played a couple of seconds, Mariah. God, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that, honey. They will snatch you down. Anyway, as you know, y'all know what to do. Follow, share, like, subscribe, donate to the snack fund up here. Donate. We did some heavy lifting today. Hope y'all enjoyed today. This is what we do over here. We have a good time. We learn, we talk. I owe y'all the politics of it all. We will start to break some of this stuff down on the politics of it all. Oh, speaking of music, y'all, before I go out, listen, I have been jamming all weekend. To remember, I told you that Janet Jackson was going to re-release the Velvet Rope and had a whole second disc with all the remixes. Everything. That hooker don't owe me nothing. Janet don't owe me nothing. Go get it, download it. All of those remixes are fire. Do you hear me? All of them fire. Go get it. Good shit there. Good shit there, Janet. You did that shit. You did the fuck out of that shit, Janet. I was here for it. So we about to get up on out of here. You know, child. Janet don't owe me nothing, honey. Baby Janet, you did that, honey. Baby, I ain't mad at it. I heard that of the Secret Babe, not the address of the Secret Babe. I'm not doing this with you. I heard that Lauryn Hill is thinking about re-releasing during the 25th anniversary in the spring for the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Yes, little baby, that's the low down version of Together Again. And then there's a 10-minute version of Together Again that don't owe me a goddamn thing. Do you hear me? Don't owe me nothing. Don't owe me nothing. Y'all need to go get that album. Listen, I highly recommend it. I don't think I had no reviews to give y'all. I did Potomac. I did um Interview with the Vampire. Episode 3 is already out on the app. I have already watched episode 3. I haven't done a review yet because I'm gonna wait until I am going to stay with doing it probably on Mondays. So I allow people to watch it on Sunday who may not have the app, and you can watch it on AMC television when it comes out on Sunday. So I won't do the review for episode 3 until it comes out on Sunday on television. So it looks like what they're going to do is release the episode a week before on the app, and then it'll come on television on Sundays. So but I'll wait to do episode 3 to after it comes on. Child, you keep waiting on it. She ain't showing up at no performances. I doubt the album come out on time. Child, a mess. Anyway, as I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged and much appreciated. Y'all have been here riding it out with me today. We've been on here 2.5 hours, officially 2 hours and 31 minutes. And we done talked. Really be on in about an hour. I got anything coming up? I may be doing a Real Housewives of Potomac panel with Darren Green, like we did with Real Housewives of Atlanta. If anybody wants to join that panel, Lil Baby, So Jeff, Xavier, Camp, if anybody wants to join that panel, let me know. Send me a message, let me know, and I'll you can be added to that panel on Real Housewives of Potomac. So yeah, that's all I got. Did I say, as I always say, I love y'all, I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. Much obliged and much appreciated. Anyway, as I always say, thank you before I leave. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.